Welcome back students. So in this session we will discuss about the hybrid parameters and feedback amplifier. In the last session we have discussed about the types of feedback amplifier. Now let us extend our discussion to the next level. These are the advantages and disadvantages. One more time we will see the basic structure. We have the source, we are giving input signal, the input signal is XS. So it will be summed for positive or negative. If it is negative, amplifier beta value, that is the part of output, will come back to the input and its difference will be Xi. So Xi will be the main signal minus feedback signal, and this gain A for this system will be output by input. This is given by A by 1 plus A beta. We have to remember this particular expression. Now these things are using the two-port networks. What we are discussing in the previous diagrams, there are the two-port networks. We discussed about the series shunt, that is voltage amplifier, current amplifier, transconductance amplifier or transresistance amplifier. They have the structure of two-port networks. So let us have a brief introduction about the two-port networks and hybrid parameters, what we call. So what is two-port networks? We will have two ports, of course, as the name suggests. We have a block of our system. There will be, suppose, input I1. I1 will enter from one port and it will exit from the another end from one side. So this particular left side will call it as port 1. Similarly, at output side we have, say, I2. There will be entry from one end and exit from another end. Input side we have I1, output side we have I2. This is port 1 and this is port 2. Two-port networks are mainly used in the transformers and transistors to explain. Now let us discuss what are these H, Y, Z and G parameters. The same thing what we discussed earlier. We will discuss in another context. Actually there are total 6 parameters. Z parameters, Y parameters, T parameters, T dash parameters, H parameters and G parameters. Out of these 6, this T and T dash are also called as ABCD parameters. So these are not part of our discussion today. We have to concentrate on the Z, Y, H and G. So out of that we will let us discuss Z parameters. You can remember this Z as impedance. Now what is impedance actually? Impedance is nothing but resistance. You can remember it in simple way that Z parameter, Z is nothing but impedance and impedance is resistance. Now let us discuss about the Z parameter. Z you can simply compare with the Ohm's law. Z is nothing but resistance, you can remember. So what we will do, let us have some structure. Say Ohm's law. Ohm's law is equal to, say, V is equal to I R. That is our simple Ohm's law. From this Ohm's law we can derive the expression for the current. For the resistance. We are saying this R resistance can be compared with the value of this Z. So from here we can say this R is nothing but equal to V by I. That's what we are doing in this. R is equal to V by I and R is nothing but Z in terms of this particular case. So Z will be equal to Vi. So if my V is V1, that's the input side voltage, and I is I2, then it will be V1 by I2. That is transform function of input voltage and transform function of output voltage. So there are total 4 parameters we define here. First is Z11. Z11 is the input impedance keeping output open, that is V1 by I1. Input side we are taking V1 and I1, and output current we are saying 0. Z22 is V2 by R2, that is completely output part, and Z12 is half part of input, half part of output. Input side we are taking voltage, output part I2. Let us check it in the diagram. Say this is input side Z11, complete part of input. Z22 is complete part of output. In Z11 I1 is flowing, in Z22 I2 is flowing. These are the sources. Input is V1, output is V2. So V1 is function of I1 and I2, because I2 here we are taking the transfer function which is part of input as well as output. Z12, that is impedance from 1 to 2. This is part 1, port 1, this is port 2, and this one is sorry, part of port 2 to 1, right? So from here we have the expression input side Z11 I1, because what is the V1? Total V1 will be divided between this particular resistance and this source. So this source voltage V is equal to IR. So current is flowing I1 and the resistance here is Z11. So this is say voltage across this Z11. Voltage across Z11 is Z11 I1, and voltage across this particular Z12 I2 is nothing but product of Z12 I2, same. So this is voltage for this and this. So total voltage, supplied voltage, is divided between these two for input side. Output side, let me remove these markings. Output side, the voltage is divided between Z22 and Z21 I1. So Z21 I1 as it is, and next one Z22 will come with I2, the current flowing across this particular thing. This is source, that's why it is already combined. So from this particular expression we can form it in the form of matrix. V1 V2 can be represented by Z11 Z21 Z12 Z12 Z22 Z22 and the remaining terms I1 and I2. If we get some numerical based on by using this matrix structure, we can solve it. Similar way, the Z is impedance, Y is admittance. Y is represented by, Y parameters are represented by Z. The only difference is in place of Z we are using Y here, and let us discuss what are the other differences here. Here it is in series. Here we have admittance is in parallel, always 1 by Y. It is in parallel of input source, parallel of output source, and in same way we can formulate the expression. Third one is hybrid parameters H. They are called as hybrid because they use all the four expression differently. So like we had Z11, Z12, here we have H11, H12. So H11 is completely part of input side which is in series. H12 V2 is input source. H21 I1 is output source, and H22 is in parallel with the output, right? If we compare H parameters, normally they are used for the common emitter configuration. We can replace these terms. So now this will be the matrix form for this expression V1 I2. Previously what we had, the expression for V1 V2, right, for both voltages. Then admittance is for both currents I1 I2. Input side current is there, output side current is there. Previously what was there? Input side voltage was there, output side voltage was there. Input voltage, output voltage, V1 V2. Next, admittance, input current source, output current source for I1 I2. For hybrid parameters, input is the voltage source and output is current source. We have to remember this. So it will be V1 by I2, H11, H21, H12, H22. H11 is completely part of input, H22 is completely part of output, and these two are the transfers. So if we consider this with the input voltage and output current of transistor configuration, the most commonly used transistor configuration is common emitter. So common emitter diagram, if you refer, in that input is, say this is input is VBE, right? So we can replace this input voltage with VBE, and output current, output is taken from the collector terminal. So output current is IC. So here this output current here I2 will be replaced by IC. Now H11 is the input resistance. So here we write it as HIE, input resistance of common emitter. E stands for common emitter. Everywhere you can see E. HIE, HRE, HFE, HOE. E stands for common emitter. I stands for input. So HIE is the input resistance. HFE which is part of both forward input side and output side. So it will come the forward resistance, which will come from this particular transistor. Output resistance at load HOE, that is the load RL for V0. So we can write it as forward, reverse, input and output. And what are the other parameters? I1 and V2. I1 is input current. Input current, input is given to base here for common emitter configuration. Input is given to base, so it will be IB. And the V2 output voltage is across these two terminals VCE, so it will be written as VC. In this way we can write hybrid H parameters for any kind of transistor, either it is BJT or FET. FET also we will discuss using animations in the coming sessions. Now in this, what is the difference? Next one is inverse hybrid G parameters. So it will be opposite of hybrid parameters. Previously we had V here and I here, so it will be opposite. So in same way we can formulate for the inverse hybrid ports. So coming back to the configuration, how we are using series shunt, we have to remember this diagram. Our basic block of amplifier with gain, this is feedback. If it is series shunt, what is meaning of series shunt? Once again I am explaining in a simple language. You have to remember that in series we connect in connections in the series, and shunt means in parallel. Series shunt means input we are giving feedback, but that feedback will come with parallel connection. From output we are taking feedback and we are giving to this B block, that is beta block, but these are connected in parallel. So this one is not connected here, so it is connected to this one, and this bottom line is connected to this one. So these are the shunt, series shunt. Shunt series means what? Output will fade directly in series, not in shunt. Input side will be shunt, like this. Series, that means input is also series, output is also in series. Shunt, that means input is also in series and part of output feedback is also coming in parallel. Input is also parallel and output is also coming from the parallel. These four diagrams you have to remember: series shunt, shunt series and series. So let us have feedback amplifier, broad block diagram. Input source we take, input side will be a mixer, either it will add or subtract the signal. Then our amplifier, where there will be gain of A, and we will take the sample, we will take the small fraction of output to the input side, small fraction. So for that we call it as sampling. We take the sample of output, we give back to the feedback by using the feedback loop. This is the general structure. Now let's have first question in this quiz. When a negative voltage feedback is applied to an amplifier, its bandwidth should increase, decrease, or remain the same, or insufficient data? You can post your answer in the comment. The answer is it increases. When we give negative feedback, the bandwidth of that particular signal increases. The next question is, when negative voltage feedback is applied to an amplifier, its voltage gain should increase, it should reduce, remain same, or none of the above? Post the answer in comments. We will discuss its answer in some other class. Till then, have a good day.